Hey, good morning to you. My name is Jiyang from Studio 4, and I'll be talking about my art gallery project today. Without further ado, I'm going to start the presentation right now. The site I was given since the beginning of the semester is in Kajang. We were given approximately 2 weeks to complete the site analysis with our fellow groupmates, which you can see right here. I will not be going super in-depth for this part. If you're interested, I will be sharing an issue link to my portfolio to view it after the presentation. Starting off, we have studied the river located right next to our site, the Langat River, which plays an important role to the people back then. After that, we studied the site in a macro scale before moving on to designing the brief and design considerations. Lastly, we've studied and analyzed the site in a micro scale as you can see right here. Next, I'll be talking about the manifesto that drives my gallery. The Kajang we know today is known for its mouth-watering satays, the tea mining industry that boosted Kajang's economies back then to shape the Kajang we know today, and also the heritage value that the Kajang people hold dear to. But what if I tell you that Kajang has much more than that to offer? In 2011, many Kajang heritage shop owners, led by the late Cikgu Lee, has successfully defended themselves after months of negotiating against the MRT chairman who planned to demolish over 40 heritage buildings in Kajang to make way for the MRT columns, as you can see here. The red line indicating the initial route of the MRT runway, whereas the blue lines is the current route. Since then, a positive protest energy and a new identity has sparked within the soul of Kajang. The question I want to ask is, after Cikgu Lee's passing, how or who will lead the people of Kajang to continue fighting for what's right? Malaysia has numerous talented young protesters that voice out their opinions through various forms of art. The second question is, will these young artists continue what Cikgu Lee has started? If yes, how can architecture help and supports them? I think you can sort of tell where I'm going off from here and what art I'll be mainly focusing on in my art gallery. You've guessed it. It's going to be protest art. Of course, not limiting only to local protest art. International protest art will be included as well. This is the manifesto poster that I did previously. Next will be the pavilion that I did in Project 2, which I'm just going to go through it briefly. Resilient is a word we have to tackle on in this semester, especially when we are given a site next to a river. The word resilient to me is not only we have to know ways to overcome certain issues, resilient can also mean improving a certain matter, issue, or even a design without disturbing the existing elements. From this location plan, you can see we were given a 15,000 square meter site to develop, and from there, it was separated into two parcels, parcel A, B, and C, sizing 3,000 square meter each to be chosen by us to design a 1,000 square meter gallery within it. I know there's a lot of number to digest, but I hope you're able to understand. I did not select parcel A because I knew I wanted something close to the MRT for convenient purpose. I've discarded parcel C as well because there were certain obstacles there like existing trees, a TNB substation, and a random concrete planter, and I did not want to contradict with the previous resilient point that I just mentioned. Therefore, I've ended up with parcel B. Although there is an existing satay restaurant there, but I have plans for that. By designing my gallery in parcel B, I'm given a chance to design parcel A and B as well as complementing landscape to my building, and by having this modular pavilion scattering around the site, it will definitely lighten up the landscape. These are the sketches and thought process I had while designing the pavilions. Here are the technical drawings and functionalities of the pavilion. These are some of the elemental study models that I did while designing the pavilion. And now to my art gallery. What you can see on the right is actually something like a mood board that drives the design of my gallery. Not forgetting to mention, the site often suffers from flood that can reach up to 3 meters in height, so flood mitigation must be considered. On the right are the case studies that I've referred to while designing. The first one is the Harbin Opera House, which I've looked into how the form and function of the building complements the site while being next to a river. I've also looked into how they create sort of like a seamless transition inside out. Next is Zaha Hadid's Haidar Aliyev. For this, I've particularly looked into the facade, materials, and the construction methods, and how Zaha brings the curves from outside of the building into the inside. Lastly will be the Guggenheim Museum. I'm amazed how Frank Lloyd Wright guides the visitor through the spiral ramp without the visitor noticing the view to view the artworks. If you had paid a little extra attention to my previous slide, you'll notice some skateboarding elements in it. The reason is because I find myself struggling when I was designing based on the word, just on the word protest. The word itself is too abstract and general, therefore I tried to find something more solid to land on, just like how my tutor, Mr. Huatlin, advised me to do so. I've looked into the characteristic of a protest artist and I find similarities between them with graffiti artists and skateboarders. They are all often being called out as troublemakers, attention seekers, and dropouts here in Malaysia. But deep down, they're just a bunch of people who wants to make a statement and they just do whatever they like while ignoring negative judgments. Also, not sure if this is worth mentioning, I'm a skater myself and I know a lot of Kajang skaters will drive all the way to Putrajaya's challenge park to have a good skate because there's just simply no skate park with proper skate pools, ramps, and skate obstacles in Kajang. Moving on, if you look at here, the bottom left here, these are the main design intentions for my gallery. Firstly, I want zero segregation in my building. Everyone is welcome to be part of the building. No one is left behind. Next is to make a statement. By having this intention in mind, I will really have to make my building pop. If you recall me mentioning I have plans for the existing satay restaurant in Parcel B, I've studied a little bit about it and I've noticed the business there isn't going well for them. So I plan to demolish the building, but not removing the business entirely. I plan to elevate their business modules by designing a space for them to carry out their business while introducing rotating vendor system with their satay food trucks because there's a rise of popularity of food trucks in Kajang. Lastly, I feel like sense of arrival is an important element before entering the main building. The prolonged journey can create a sense of belonging to one while enjoying the view of the landscape. As you can see from the at the right side, from my main design intention, I've came up with a few more diagrams that support my building statement. Education can be incorporated into entertainment to cultivate a higher intellectual community. Next, I want people to participate in my building, leaving individual footsteps behind. Also, by introducing a skate park, it will surely be something fresh in Kajang and it can definitely attract more attention. The skate pool in the skate park can act as a water retention tank to drag time for the happening of flood to buy more time for people to prepare themselves. Play skates should be introduced into the landscape that allows people to pause and really strengthen the bond between the building and the landscape. To me, a communal space that promotes public interaction is important to really bring the Kajang people together. By introducing a large void in the center of the building, it sort of creates something like a light tube that harvests natural sunlight that can light up the building from within. Last but not least, I want to create a smooth flow and experience within my gallery. I always ask myself, why do people always start exploring a building from the ground floor all the way up, only to find yourself going back down again without any purpose? Why not start from the top and exit from the bottom? So these are a series of sketches and models, the good ones, that I've included to show my form development. As you can see, the landscape, the building, and the form is derived from the skateboarding and graffiti painting movements. So this is how my gallery and the landscape will look from plan view, aka the site plan. Here is the flow of my building. As you can see here, there are two major ramps with a gradient of 1 to 14 that connects my gallery to the landscape and the MRT. The orange line shows the vehicular access. The green shows how one can reach the second floor from the ground floor with the food truck ramp. This is where people can get their favorite satay before entering the gallery. The blue shows how a pedestrian can walk from the MRT to the second floor of the building. View 1 is the approaching view if you took the MRT here. View 2 is the main drop-off view. Once you reach the second floor, there will be an outdoor bistro on the south side where it will be super busy during the evenings, where people can just meet up and have a satay or a drink as shown in view 4. If you came from the ground floor, you will first be welcomed by the gorgeous landscape view as shown in view 3. If you wish to proceed to the gallery, you are required to take another ramp up to the third floor. Once you reach the third floor, the gallery experience begins from the reception area. Once tickets has been checked, visitors will take a ramp down to the main gallery that showcases protest artworks. From here, you can see that partition walls are used to guide visitors around the double volume gallery as shown in View 5. The sensitive art zone where political art is showcased here is located at the southeast side of the second floor. This space is single volume to highlight the intimacy and the hierarchy of privacy within the space. The exhibition space is located at the northwest side of the second floor, and once you're done with that, a ramp will guide you down to the first floor where skateboard art is showcased here. If you look at View 6, this is the view that you can see visitors coming down from the ramp from the first floor to the ground floor. Once you reach the ground floor, there will be a series of glass partitions separating the lobby and the art restoration room. Occasionally, visitors can also join the art restoration workshop in the room. The lobby is a place where people can mingle around, just wait for their friends that are still at the upper floor galleries. The toilet is placed close to the workshop for convenient purposes. Before exiting the gallery, there will be a skate shop and a bookstore on your left. Not only the south entrance acts as an exit door for the visitor, this is also an entrance for the gallery workers. As you can see here, the back of the house of the building, which includes the artist office, the server room, the M&E room, the study room, and the storage room, are located at the southwest of the ground floor, so that the workers will not have to go through all the floors above to reach their working desk. Let's say if you're not here for the indoor stuff, you're just here to grab a satay and participate in the communal activities. You will most likely be around the north side of the ground floor as shown in View 7. These are clearer versions of my plans of my gallery. Next, on the left, my section and elevation, whereas on the right is the exploded axonometry of the whole site I've did to show the zoning, spaces, connection, and activities in and around the gallery. So this will be my final presentation board layout, which is on Miro. I will link it in the chat box. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Hope you enjoy it. Stay safe and have a nice day.